Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Rollbreaker. We're glad to have you here. This is the first episode to our prelude game to our current campaign, the Blood of the Briarthrone. So welcome to the first episode of the Baeh Veshen, which is a kind of historical mini-campaign that we are doing before the game campaign. That will kind of just give some context to some things that are going to be happening in the campaign, and it's more of just kind of a little bit of some fun lore times that people can hopefully enjoy. I am your game master, Harrison, and I am also the head creative lead here at Rollbreaker, and I am joined with two lovely gentlemen. Jeff, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Hello, as previously stated, my name is Jeffrey Langley. I am the player who plays Fenton Feltree. You'll probably hear about him coming up, and I'm also the technical director. What that pretty much means, it's not very creative. But I set up the little cameras. I didn't set up these cameras, but if we ever do it in person, I'll be doing that. And then I wrote the little charter for our business and sent it to the Queen of England, as you do. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I do. Brian, how about you do it?
How about you do it?
Hello, I'm Brian. You might be the one that recognizes me the most out of the group. I run that little funny Oingo Boingo account on TikTok. That little guy who does the funny little dances and weird faces, that's me. Hi, this is my voice. Please don't be surprised.
It's your choice.
I haven't used my voice yet in like any of our TikToks besides the first one. And that one was distorted because it was weird because we were in the middle of a meeting when we did that first TikTok, right. So it sounds so robotic and wrong. This is my real voice. Hi, hello. Hopefully it's in good quality. I am
it's a
the
shame
player.
that you haven't used it yet because, gosh almighty, this guy has such a beautiful little voice.
It's true, and you get to hear a lot of it.
A lot.
You get to hear so much of it. It's going to be great.
Too much.
Almost.
Almost too much, but it's not. And if it is, you're wrong. I am the player who plays Rathal in the main campaign, and then in this campaign it'll be a little funny guy. So, real excited for that. I'm just residential man. I don't know. Hi, hello.
Yeah. All right. So with that, a little bit of an explanation. So, hopefully if you're watching this at least live, if you're watching this later down the line, thanks for watching. Yeah. But if you're watching this live, you might be wondering, why did these idiots change the start time of the stream to only the latter live stream? Well, that would be because these episodes are pre-recorded so that we can make sure we have enough time to make sure that they are in the best quality that they can be and that the stream goes out at a regular, consistent time for you guys, the viewers. And this time around, our recordings got messed up. So we are kind of redoing it, but that doesn't mean that we're just rehashing what happened in that game. It's going to be an entirely fresh game, and the game that was lost is never going to be seen, and that's probably for the better, because it was meh. It was okay. It wasn't great. This one
great.
Be
No. It was great.
To put it lightly, we were kind of silly. But
a bit too silly.
There was a moment when Brian.
We don't have to talk about that moment. Actually, they'll
Brian
never see it. They'll never know. No.
I think it'd be best for our viewers to understand just the extent that we had to go through.
Yeah. It was an experience, let's say that. But it's an experience no one will ever get to see. And
no one.
Maybe someday we'll do a dramatic reenactment on another live stream for those interested, but you guys are just going to have to convince us of that, either on Twitter or Instagram, or maybe ask Brian on the TikTok to explain it.
For simplicity stakes, it was just a bit that went on a bit too long.
Just a bit too long.
It was about
But
10 minutes.
with that,
Sure.
we are going to be getting into our game tonight. So first things first, there is some content warnings. They are in the description, so just read that. It's brief and it's more of just being aware, but with this being our first stream, be aware of that. And with that, I think we are going to get into our game tonight.
You are my pages of winter, my bastions of frost and ice, vestiges of the cold. Your judgment must be instant and undiscerning. Your hearts must be frozen and solid. Your eyes must never see mercy, and your hands never commit to that same weakness. You must be like the winter itself, cold yet fair. You are my vestiges, my hands and my eyes in the world. So let your fists and your blades commit to my actions. Let your hands never feel warmth, lest it is the blood of my enemies. This is your vow to me.
So, tonight we find ourselves in a realm far, far different than what our players are regularly used to. Deep within a kind of quiet forest, two figures stand. Blood dripping from both of their faces. Around them, the snow is covered in bodies. The bodies seem to be made of flesh and kind of plant material like bark. And there are about 50 to 60 bodies surrounding these two figures. Both seeming to be a little worse for wear, as a single drop of blood drops from a much larger kind of armored figure in kind of brass almost heavy armor. Jeff, would you like to introduce your character?
Yeah. I think I will. My guy, he's a hobgoblin, and his name is Urvgach. Urvgach. I'm not going to spell it again. If you missed it, rewind. Maybe take a screen recording that time. But I'm not spelling it again, so... Wah, wah. Anyway, like our little Harrison guy said here, I'm wearing this big old brass armor. It's almost gold. It's not like the coppery looking. It's more of the gold type. He's got this kind of Mongolian, Chinese type inspired armor look. He has this big old great sword, and we're talking big, folks. It's not a great sword. It's a great sword. All right, big old thing. Anyway, all funnies aside, he's also got this big old cloak, and it has this white fur. You can't see pretty much any of this guy's skin here. You can see kind of two little glassy black beads of eyeballs in his behind his helmet. And you know what? I think, yeah. And he's pretty tall too, as well. He's about, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4", somewhere around there. Pretty big old guy. Anyway, all that aside, I guess we're done with that little introduction.
And as we kind of pull into Urvgach, his sword lays dripping with this kind of thick, kind of viscous black blood that begins to sizzle off of the blade. And in just a few moments, the blade is completely cleaned of the blood that was sitting on it. The massive, massive blade seems to kind of end in this frozen point, in a way, going from a steel to almost glacial ice. The other figure, standing next to Urvgotch, Brian, would you like to describe your character?
Okay. Character's name is Dolvidas. That is Douldedas. I will spell that again if you need to.
I should mention that in the character display, both of your characters' names will be underneath your
some people
aspects,
just don't want to read it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying you don't have to respell it.
These are for the people who
be there.
don't want to read.
And it's accessibility. Some people may not be able to read because of some visual issues. So Harrison,
maybe you should be more considerate.
How about we have a little meeting after this about, catering to all fans?
God, Harrison.
All right.
I thought we talked about this, but it's fine. Standing there, Dolidas is a 5'5" changeling, and right now he is dropping his visage of what used to be an Eladrin, and now from this, I'm assuming, white, glossy Eladrin look goes into this darker gray visage where he has his black eyes with white pupils, as he's currently checking his long poncho. The poncho starts around the shoulders and ends almost right up mid thigh. And he's kind of checking it right now to see if there's any holes, which there are, and he's just trying to figure out how to fix it. He has studded leather underneath the poncho that just kind of pokes out every now and then. He's checking if he has all of his daggers there, and looking through his skirt, he has this long kilt-like skirt. They have this long kilt-like skirt, just a really dark ebony black that just flows down low ride waist down to his ankles.
And with that, these two kind of characters now stand in just this field of bodies, this kind of black Icarus blood splayed across the white snow, creating this almost beautiful yet sickening kind of painting of death all around them. You see Dodeus kind of slides their daggers into these oddly shaped hilts on their side, as you also see Urvgotch just places the blade in a massive sheath on his back, as both blades, or all three blades, I should say, sit just kind of loosely now, as the sounds of almost wind whipping next to them appears, as two small figures appear almost out of thin air, almost as if through almost like a magic trick, a kind of piece of fabric is pulled out of nothing, as two small creatures appear to the shoulders of both of our characters here. The first, appearing right next to Urvgotch, a small creature that seems to be a flower-given humanoid form, in a sense. It floats kind of just aimlessly off of his shoulder, and visually, this creature looks like a white kind of winter Pierre, with the kind of drooping bell flowers hanging off of its head, almost like hair in a way, and its body seeming to be kind of a stem-given human form. The arms and legs seeming to be almost like leaves given shape. And the same creature, albeit in the form of a different flower, this one being a glory of the snow, appears next to Dodeus, who both of our characters kind of look back at these creatures, which they know to be called petals. Small flower-like creatures that exist in the service of many fae, but most commonly with knights and pages of the seasons, of which our two characters here are two pages of winter.
We're not knights yet.
Not knights.
There's
only one
What
knight.
pisses me off is that,
season.
like, I could have got that promotion, but Jim, also known as Humgar, or whatever the fuck his name is, he schmoozed the boss and was like, hey, let me do it. Like, go fuck yourself, Jim. We're not gonna fuck around with this Humgar
That's
business.
strong. It's a strong opening.
I don't know.
So-
I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too strong, but whatever.
As we kind of look at this scene, you can see, as the two of you look around, these creatures, which you know to be called Selgi, which are corrupted Eladrin, that are kind of broken down and turned into fey creatures, each with these kind of long, impossibly sharp wooden swords. Each of them looks almost frozen in a way, but you can see the very, very faint flower crowns that are kind of wrapped around their heads as being flowers you have never seen here in the frozen wastes. And that is saying something, considering that most of the other Fey Lords that have issues with the Fey Lords here are relatively well known. So these may be Wild Hunt Fey, or a new lord may be in the fray of this great war that you find yourselves in. But again, they were no match, even in the numbers that there were, for two very, very powerful pages of the seasons.
Oh, fucking bad bitches.
So, with that, the two of you kind of slowly step forward, both injured to a degree, but not life-threatening injuries. As Dodeus, you hear the very, very faint kind of voice of your petal, Sob. Can I assist you, perhaps? You look a little rough.
Yeah, you can. I'm missing a dagger. It has to be in one of these bodies. I have 4 and I have 3 right now, so I'm missing one. And there's
Would you
There's
like
a
me
lot
to
of 'em.
locate it? Rose?
yeah, there's a lot of them, and they're just kind of
You
gross.
see, she kind of moves her hands as this like small pulse of magic, very light white, kind of pulses off of her. Furthest body on the right. It seems that you threw it directly into its throat. Good shot.
Thank you. I was really trying. There was that one time, a couple months ago, where I tried to go for the eye, and then I just hit his cheek, and he got all mad. So I just thought the throat would be easier. And as he goes to pick it out, he grabs the hilt and twists as he pulls it out, and the same spiral
And it
motion
makes
that
this
he
kind
threw
of
it back in.
sickening sound as it rips more of the throat out. And there's kind of this piece of wood that's kind of stuck into the center of the dagger that you kind of have to break off a little bit. As you see Sob kind of raises her hands and kind of weaves together this kind of odd, almost magical suture on the various cuts around you, and she is going to use just a very, very minor cure wounds on you as she kind of weaves these together and then kind of moves over to you and casts a spell onto you. So you are healed. Actually, she would be able to use it at a high enough level that she could probably take care of all of that. So, for the purposes of this, I will say that you are healed fully.
Let's go!
Irvgotch. You see your pedal instinctively already casting this magic as you hear a different small voice. Lord, it seems that it is worse this time. Would you like me to possibly repair your armor as well, as the magic is just cast onto you?
So they did it without even asking? Or, like, they did ask and then they just didn't?
They healed you.
They healed me. Yes. Just a yes. Throwing that out there.
Wonderful. As more magic is kind of ripples off of their fingers as the pieces of armor that kind of got stabbed through or kind of dented in, just losing the kind of pure strength that this armor has, kind of either merge back together or kind of pop back out into form as your armor is also repaired.
Does my little character have a plunger that they put up to my armor and go thunk, like what you do with a car?
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Yay!
So with that,
Dolidas is like trying to clean his dagger with his poncho and accidentally cuts himself because it's so weirdly twisted. Because he's just like, okay, clockwise. If I do it clockwise, I won't cut it. And then he cuts himself and goes, fuck, it was counterclockwise. Shit, God. Okay, whatever. And then he just kind of puts it back in his holster and tries to catch up with Irvgotch.
Okay. Irvgotch, you were kind of trudging through the snow past many of these bodies. This whole space is just kind of thrown apart with bodies. Sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was going to say, you see that little bit right there? Imagine that, about 16 times the intensity and about 4 times the length. That's pretty much what you guys missed last time. We can, like we said, though, we can maybe reenact the little happening, get some wigs
Brian
in there.
Brian will put the whole bit up on
the fall of Dectus. That's the name of it.
There you go.
It was 10 minutes long.
10 minutes long. Never ended. Anyway, so Irvgotch, as you are kind of trudging through the snow, the snow sits perpetually just above knee height. It is kind of a pain to get through, even for you. For Bildeus, it's a much more intrusive and difficult thing because you stand a good, probably foot taller than he does, or they do, I should say. And it's a pain to get through this specific area of the frozen wastes. But you continue on, knowing your mission. Is there anything you guys would like to do in the meantime, or...
So what's around here, huh?
So there are massive evergreen trees all around you, kind of creating this perpetual darkness all around with just this kind of firm layer of snow, and it is perpetually, at least in this region, always just past twilight. Just barely as the sun would go down. But here in the Feywild, time and day doesn't really exist. It is a perpetual thing that is controlled almost entirely by the Fey Lords around kind of this space, and they have complete control over it. It is unnatural, but after a long time, you begin to understand it in a way and expect that same difficulty, in a sense. So, but all around you are just absolutely massive trees, but the actual floor and, like, the forest floor of this space is almost completely devoid of anything except for this very deep, deep layer of snow.
Well,
hey, Irvgotch, where have you seen these flowers before? I know they're like at the back of my head, but I don't remember where.
history check with my little dice here. If anybody wants to
Go
see my
ahead.
dice and like buy it off of eBay when I'm done with them, you can buy them directly off me or whatever you want.
They're the price of a
like
mortgage, a
$80.
house mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like house mortgage actually. That would work too. Let's do a check here. What would I roll for this little question that I was just asked? What do I roll here?
I would say you can either make a nature or history check, whichever you would prefer.
Okay.
You will get different information for both, though.
Oh.
So
I rolled a 11.
an 11.
For history.
Okay. With an 11, these specific flowers you do not know of their origins. However, you do recall having seen them before. But you cannot recall where. But you do know that it was a relatively long time ago, especially like in your specific, length in being in the Feywild. It was a decently long time ago.
It's like a couple months, couple years.
A long time ago. So.
Alright, well.
So, the two of you continue moving through the forest. The kind of breaking, barely light tries to peek through these trees, but is just unable to penetrate the just kind of ever-present, kind of surrounding sound. You both know your destination. You are both on your way to Kaltersib, which, in common tongue, means the Frozen Rift. It is a massive kind of castle set into the side of a glacier. The stone from beneath the glacier has been brought and kind of broken through this, almost continent-sized glacier that exists in the frozen wastes. And this kind of representation of a castle is a entrance to a multi-caverned living space for a relatively powerful Fey Lord by the name of Siblance, who his kind of common name that he's known around the Feywild is the Frostbug. Because he lives in the north but has a striking resemblance to a large, almost humanoid beetle covered in almost these frozen spikes. And his caverns specifically are full of his kind of aligned Fey, which
Are also
you have never
bugs?
really interacted with. All you know is that they are Fey creatures that live in these snowy regions but have some bug-like attributes.
Could I be a bug one of these days?
I mean, via magic, I'm sure you could figure something out.
That's what Urvgotch wants in life. He just
Well,
wants
that's
to
what
be
I
a
want.
bug. Oh,
In real life.
This is what Jeff
to
Langley
become a
wants.
bug.
I want to be a bug. If I could be any bug, actually, I'd probably be like a one of the stick bugs. I think it'd be fun.
Big stick bug.
Yeah. Anyway,
So,
just hopes and dreams,
as the two of you are kind of continuing walking, you eventually kind of break through the tree line and find yourself at the top of this kind of snowy cliff face that kind of goes down into a slope, to which you see the massive stone spires of Kaltersibel, And it's odd. It is beautifully decorated, but also has an element of simplicity to it. That is... It's discordant in an odd way. It is perfectly designed, but every element has this almost superficial nature to it. And as the two of you kind of make your way down this kind of large slope down to the front, you see that this kind of cliff face is completely devoid of life. There is just this deep, long entrance that goes down.
What's the entrance look like?
It looks to be this kind of massive, almost gateway, in a sense, that is carved, like, very, very intricately, with Sylvan, which is the common tongue here. And it is just it's reminiscent almost of a mouth, in a way, swallowing you into the mountain.
Well, I sure hope that I don't get swallowed. That's no good.
What would the two of you like to do?
I'll not get swallowed.
Okay,
I just said that. Anyway.
To get swallowed.
Oh, boy. This guy.
Ooh.
This is what you're going to have to deal with, viewers and vieweresses.
Hi.
So, what are the two of you doing?
Well, if we're set to go in, I think Irvgotch, being the rational man he is, I think we're going to just head on in there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
As you begin to take steps into this kind of dark cavern, you begin to hear the echoing kind of sounds of your own footfalls. And as you kind of continue down, you begin to hear another sound. A slight buzzing sound that slowly grows louder.
There's a bug. This bug coming from...
Big old bug.
I'm scared of bugs.
Eventually, the two of you begin to kind of break from stone and enter into glacial ice all around you. Again, intricately detailed. And just very, very faint light begins to seep through this glacial ice, creating almost a ever-present blue hue around you. And then you see two large figures dressed in ornate, purely white robes that have this kind of intricately detailed, kind of thin tabard almost that sits in the center, with kind of long dresses in a way that kind of flutter far past their feet as you see four kind of humming insect-like wings. Two creatures kind of fly out from this kind of long tunnel that you're making your way through. Both kind of have these kind of elongated head kind of vestments in a way that kind of drape down into veils that cover their faces. Their eyes are kind of completely covered in these very intricate wrappings that weave around them, with only their like the bottom half of their faces being able to see through this kind of thin veil. Every element of this is in variations of white, with an emphasis on snow, kind of pure white. And every other intricate detail is kind of almost carved out of them in a way, visually, not physically, in this kind of light, kind of ice blue. The only other color that you notice is beautifully golden, very, very long spears that have a very kind of soft flow to them up until the kind of slightly rounded points. The spears themselves are massive, easily 14 feet long, with these creatures themselves being roughly 6, but with these kind of vestments on, the entire length looks to be about 8 or 9 feet in length. They look very, very reminiscent to giant humanoid dragonflies. Mm-hmm. So, with that, these two creatures kind of float towards you, the spears at the ready, but not in a aggressive position.
Would I know what these creatures are, or anything like that?
Roll a history check.
Okay.
Not do as bad as me.
Whoa, that's a 25.
Okay. With the 25,
Damn.
you know that these are Soldier Isadran, which are the peoples of Sybil. With that high of a roll, you get a couple of other points. It is widely believed that Isildren are Eladrin that have been basically mutated into bugs, in a way, or into insect-like creatures. They are mostly still Eladrin, however, some have wings or more advanced eyes, or some element of insect-like creatures, most often being with these kind of long insect-like wings. Specifically, though, the Soldier Isildren are some of the most dangerous field soldiers that are in service of any Fey Lord. They are not things to be messed with, in a way. And there are only 100 or so within the entire hive, and
they got them guarding a door?
Yeah.
That's a fucking tough gig for the best foot soldiers around, man. That's no good. I'd call their HR manager. I'd be like, listen, I am one of the best warriors ever.
Well, they're not exactly an active member in the Baeh Veshen. They are much more a stick to the hive and never leave it kind of thing. So there's not much else that they would be doing. But with that, you see the two soldier Isildren kind of standing, or floating, I should say. The kind of like deafening thrum of their wings just kind of creates a cacophony of sound inside of this space. So, what are the two of you doing?
Is it like, how loud is it?
It is deafening. Yeah, pretty much. It is very, very loud, but it's not to the point where you can't talk over it, but it is to the point where a whisper probably couldn't be heard.
Okay.
You're the talker.
The old us is gonna look at them just like, hello, hey, how are you? I'm sure you recognize us. If you don't, you very much will soon. Listen, we need to get access through there immediately, and if we could do that just real fast, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks.
The two Isildren kind of that are just standing there, kind of, they don't look to each other, but you can sense that, like, there's almost that, like, side glance of, like, get a load of these guys. To which one kind of flies a little bit higher and then kind of flies lower. The spear kind of slowly, their kind of grip on it. Not grasp, what am I talking about?
Grasp.
Their kind of grasp on it slowly sinks down, as they are now just slightly above the two of you. And it just kind of leans forward.
This is a power play.
I will also lean forward to meet his gaze.
Okay. What is your business here?
Oh, I guess you haven't heard of this. We've been sent by the Winter Knight. We're looking for someone. Might I say, you are
at this point. You now see the features. This Isildren is almost impossibly beautiful, not to the degree that you've never seen before, because it is a widely known fact that the Fae are very beautiful creatures to most. Hot.
H-A-W-T.
But this one is just kind of... There's a softness to the face that also, in an odd way, creates this kind of sharpness. Like, the face is unblemished in a way, and every element of it looks like it was sculpted from stone, which creates a very cold, almost calculating visual as you are kind of looking at this creature. But as you explain that, you see the kind of face kind of loses its kind of violent tightness, and softens ever so slightly as the head, with kind of this intricate wrap that goes down into this robe, from the eyes that kind of reaches around the head and down. It kind of turns to the other one, floats back up, as the two of them kind of in unison float and turn, letting the two of you inside. So,
thank you.
With that, you also hear kind of this loud kind of staff falls as the edges of these two spears slam 3 times into the ice, as you begin to just hear kind of this echo that just shoots down the tunnel. With that, no, stop.
1968. What happened?
Definite. There we go. Got it. Sorry, my echo in my room likes to pick up when I say echo, and I say echo a lot. My bad, everybody. So, with that, the two of you kind of stand there for a second as you see another one of these Isildren soldiers. This one, even more ornate. You see this kind of headdress that kind of goes out into kind of a not spherical, but almost oval surrounding around the head. This one has these kind of gold kind of chains that end in medallions that hang all around its head. You see the kind of veil on this one is pinned instead by the gold of the two previous. This time it is kind of an ornate crown of gold that holds it together, that is kind of set into this kind of headdress. This one you see with just 2 swords, perfectly gold, sitting at its hip. The kind of body of this one seems to be wrapped much, much more intricately than the other two, all the way up until its hands, which you see are kind of this very, very light, kind of bluish white in a way. Same with the face, which is slightly masked by the white veil that sits over it. You can see this one is less robed and seems to be more available for full range of movement, and you can see that the wrap goes all the way across the body, almost down to the feet, where it kind of wraps once or twice around the feet and then leaves them basically free. As you can see, the kind of waist dress kind of weaves into this same wrapping that goes all the way around the body. And with the 25 that you got, Brian, you know that this is a Isildren captain. A more skilled and more well-trained Isildren soldier that is also, more often than not, more in tuned with the kind of great old magics of the Fey realm. So, you see this kind of creature flies up. All of these creatures, I should also mention, are very androgynous in features, and this one is no different. However, it does fly up and land, taking just a couple of steps. It lands with no imperfections, as if it was on a perfectly set path to land. There is no error made by human element, I should say. As it kind of bows its head towards the two of you and just kind of slowly turns, leading you further in.
What's
So,
that guy?
to which this point, Dorotheus, you hear the very, very quiet sounds of Saab kind of talking off to your side. Well, this is getting quite interesting, isn't it?
I know. It's the captain. To think, escorted by the captain. You must be pretty big around here.
Either that, or they don't want you finding something.
Me and you are just one alike. See if you could find anything around us that they're trying to hide, will you?
I was already on it when we walked in. I am an aspect of you forget. We'll talk in a moment, as she just disappears. And with that, the two of you kind of continue, kind of walking in, for what feels like miles. The two of you make your way down and into this kind of, almost imperceptibly large room, as you kind of break from this cavern that you've been walking through. You can kind of see the entrance, but as you open into it, it looks as though an entire multi-story city was set into a ballroom, in a way. And as you look up, you can barely see the top, and you can't see any detail of it, but there is this massive, glowing, slightly pulsating light that kind of lights this entire space with a very oddly natural light that the two of you have not experienced in some time, both kind of not averting your eyes, but simply taking it in a way. A mimic of sunlight. So, with that, what would the two of you like to do? As the captain kind of looks to the two of you, kind of nods, and then you just see the wings as it just kind of buzzes up and kind of flies and then goes into one of these massive tunnel systems in this kind of top ring. You can see there is just holes all over the top that seem to be the most quick and efficient way that the Isildren soldiers move throughout this space.
This is like the B movie with Jerry Seinfeld a little bit, you know?
Bad joke.
That's not a bad
10
joke,
points.
that's an observation.
No. It's a joke.
Get him out of here.
Just like
Get him
that
out.
movie.
Okay, well, if you're going to
It's
kick
not
me out of the
very
campaign for making a Jerry Seinfeld reference, I guess we're
We
going
don't talk about Jerry here.
Alright. Well, we're here. We're happy to be here.
So,
Did we ever establish our mission, our little mission here?
not to our lovely audience here. So I will
'Cause I
establish
know
that
it.
now. So, the two of you, along with your pedal companions, are in search of a missing informant, we'll call him, by the name of Baeh Veshen. Baeh Veshen is a fae that has been an informant for the Night of Winter for a very, very, very long time. And as of late, has decided that he no longer wants to contact the person who has been keeping him connected with the kind of wintry cold sides of the Fae, and has been avoiding the Night of Winter for a very, very long time. And so the two of you have been tasked with finding him and either bringing him back alive or in enough pieces that necromantic magic can make him talk. The choice was left up to you and whatever is most easy to do. But all other means are pretty much entirely in your hands. So, with that, you were told that he was possibly seen here. The two of you have been looking for Baeh Veshen for a decent amount of time and have looked into a lot of other, how shall we say, leads that have led to more questions than answers, but ultimately leading to nothing.
Well, this little city, I hope, that's not his voice, by the way,
That is his voice.
I tend to do
is
that. I'm like a
100%
little,
his
no,
voice.
it's not my character's voice, it's just my voice, but I think I watched the Ninja Masterclass on Twitch streaming, and he said to do just a little bit of a silly voice, and sometimes I do that. I think it adds a lot to my charm.
Yeah,
but
it really
anyway.
does. It really does.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah. So what are we gonna do? Ryan, you're the plan maker around here.
All right. I've got you know the plan, right?
No,
You know the plan.
Right.
I don't know the plan.
Well, we're gonna look for Bolgovich. Go left. Go right. What was his name?
What'd you call him?
Baeh Veshen, man.
Baeh Veshen, dude. I am.
Where'd you get Bolgovich from?
Bolgovich, dude. That's I don't know.
Ah,
That's
yes,
my OC.
Bolgovich.
Oh
My
yeah,
name.
bulge sandwich.
Bolgovich. I already
This
forgot
guy.
his name. What was his name?
Baeh
Baeh
Veshen.
Veshen.
Baeh Veshen.
Ryan. It's
What?
Baeh Veshen.
I keep thinking there's an itch sound in there.
There's no itch there.
Okay.
There's a thin.
Lots of thin, though.
Lots of thin. Okay. We have to look for Baeh Veshen. Obviously, that's the plan. That's the mission.
Yep.
Go around. Don't make yourself obvious, if that's even possible with you and your structure. And I'll go right and see what we can find.
That isn't much as a plan. That's more of a concept.
All right then. I'm gonna be heading off.
The two of you part ways.
Keep our space.
Can I have both of you make either investigation or perception checks?
Or what? Okay. 13. I hate
12.
this.
Okay.
Oh, I'm better.
And what did you both roll for?
I did investigation.
Okay.
I did perception.
All right.
You hesitated.
We'll
You
just
probably
start with
lied,
whoever's
so.
higher. Jeff.
Big freaking head.
Urvgotch is just kind of walking through this kind of crowd of Sildren as they all just kind of like part around you. Because oddly enough, with your armor, you look somewhat beetle-like, which, you know, is
No,
kind of a sign of power, although your kind of brass armor kind of breaks up the kind of winter vibe that's going on here, and so everyone is just like,
Well, there's
very wary
there's
of
white
you.
little bits in there.
Yeah, there's some white. I mean, your cloak is mostly white, so
Yeah.
it works. It's not like you're a sore thumb in here, but it's definitely not the closest in the world. But
Well, maybe they're basic. Never thought of that.
yeah. But as you're kind of looking around and just looking for people that you know, you see a familiar figure. The relatively short in stature satyr by the name of Mathi.
Is Mothy like a goat one, or is it like another weird little bug character?
It's a goat satyr. It's in the traditional, look of a satyr. But color-wise, Mothi is like almost completely albino. He has extremely pale skin, and like white fur, and his hooves are pure white. He has this kind of long hair that just kind of sits around kind of his shoulders, very much like kind of a wolf cut going on. And his horns kind of like pull back and just begin to curl towards his ears. And for his face, you see the kind of familiar white kind of goatee. But unlike your past seeing of Mothi, this time around he has these kind of horrible face scars that rip across his whole like right side of his face. And it looks as if someone grabbed like barbed wire and just started like cheese gratering his face with it. And the scars have healed over, but you can see it is just like scratching scars all across the right side of his face, and you can see that his right eye is like completely gone. Like it is scarred and just like ripped apart. Like it's still there, but it is like faded, and you can see that he is definitely blinded in that eye. But you can see the kind of still mischievous grin that he kind of has just sits under a inactive face. You can see a bit of his hair is also like kind of torn away from the scars, as well as kind of the rightmost side of his goatee and mustache is kind of ripped apart by this very intense scarring. But otherwise, he still has his look of charm just slightly befuddled by extreme scarring on the side of his face. That is entirely new to the last time you saw him. Speaking of the last time you saw him, the last time that you saw Mothi, he gave you the slip, like, pretty bad. He was an informant for you as you were searching for somebody, and this was a decent amount of time ago. And he was supposed to get you out of a jam and decided to never show. So you have some remaining beef with Mothi.
Well, I'm going to approach Mothi, as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
No hands on my weapons, not my fists are all balled up, nothing like that. I'm just going to go up to this guy, ding, 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 tap him on the shoulder.
Okay.
Mothi
didn't notice you walk up, and as you kind of poke him on the shoulder, he like kind of slowly reacts, but right as he hears your voice, he like shoots back and looks at you and like starts to run.
I'm just gonna grab his horn.
Okay.
Grab his horn.
You kind of yank his head back as he just kind of stops moving and just kind of settles back into where he was sitting. The person that he was talking to, a Isildren, kind of like looks at the two of you and just kind of like
your conversation is
just,
over.
Like walks away. Like stands up and just like doesn't make eye contact with you and just starts walking. You can see, from what you've noticed, with the Isildren here, the battle Isildren have these very, very like large, like big, multi-winged or like multi-stage wings, right? They have like 4 wings total that are hidden behind this kind of back, like armored plate almost,
like
that is kind of grown. Yeah, carapace. The worker Isildren only have, 1 pair of wings, and they are not protected by anything. They just kind of sit in what looks to be kind of a designed cloak that kind of protects them somewhat. But they are not hardy by any means. And the wings of the captain, he had 6 wings, with a little bit heavier carapace that sat on his back.
Does the queen bee here have 12?
You don't
or
know.
8? Well, that's...
You haven't met the guy.
Put in the comments right now, how many wings does the big one have? I'm going to say 8. One big wing that is cool.
One big one.
It slaps on the floor and it's really gross. Yeah. That's what
it's
royalty
like a big tongue
is.
that just shoots out of his back.
It's like an oyster.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a handful of horn right now, so I'm gonna be, yeah. Okay, let's see. So what does Mothy say anything when I?
Mothy is just kind of staring at you, more in shock than anything.
As is the custom of my land, I should strike you down right now.
I would rather if you didn't. I'm glad to see that you're all right.
Well, you're in luck because you're entertaining. But annoy me again, and I will, murder you in front of everyone here.
Very well then. How can I help you, Erfgat?
I'm looking for Baeh Veshen.
I do not know of anyone by that name, but I can certainly try and find out for you.
Okay. This is out of character. I'm not going to be fucking with this little goat guy any longer.
Alright.
No.
No.
Is this little fucker telling the truth or what?
Roll an insight check. I will mention, if you'd like to, your pedal Elise can give you advantage on that.
20! I have no need for my little creature. 22. Natural 20.
Yeah, he's definitely lying.
You
don't know to what degree he's lying. It may be that he knows of Baeh Veshen, but doesn't know where he is, or you don't know to the degree, but you can tell that there is something revolving around that specific question that he is not necessarily withholding, but not saying immediately.
So actually what I'm going to do, since I have one horn in my hand, I'm going to press up the other one against a wall.
Okay.
Pretty much. And just kind of like, until it starts to crack just a little. Just a little at the end.
You kind of grab his other horn and brace it against this kind of structure that he was sitting at, as you can feel the horn beginning to give ever so slightly.
You're attempting to deceive me.
No, you just didn't ask the right questions, and I am sworn to secrecy for all of my clients, including yourself. Please don't. I'm sorry.
What?
Look, I'll tell you what you want. Please.
I have told you.
Please.
I am a man of tradition, and I love my people very much. You may not know them, but they're fucking crazy. So please, tell me what you know, and I will leave your little horns alone.
All I know is that someone else is looking for him. I don't know who, and they tried to pay me to find him. I don't know. I don't even know what they look like. I just got a message in my head. Is that enough?
No. More.
I don't have any more. As, he is, slammed
this
into
is
the
Intimidation 101. You just gotta make shit up before you let them go. Alright. What I'm gonna do next, and this may not be popular with everybody, while I have a horn in my hand, I'm gonna get his leg, right?
Okay.
And just kind of, take him into an alleyway.
Just gonna pick him up?
Yeah, like a guitar case, pretty much. And I'm just gonna throw him into the alleyway.
You pick him up and just, toss him. His body just goes flying through the air and crashes into more of a burrow than an alleyway. There's not many alleyways here, considering that it's not, like a city. But you do throw him into what seems to be an empty burrow as you step inside, kind of ducking down into this empty space.
I'm gonna put my boot on his ankle, so he can't jump around like a raccoon in the garage, as Alex Jones might say. I'm not a fan of his. But
why are you quoting that guy? Out of everyone.
I don't know, I can. I know that video where he's like, I'm a pioneer. I've got cum going through my veins. I don't remember what he says, but he says something weird like that. He's got real issues. I don't support him at all, but I think he has some funny little semantics. Anyway.
He's funny to laugh at, I'll give you that.
Yeah, funny to laugh at. Funny to compare to like a big old grapefruit. He looks like a grapefruit, his head does. Anyway.
Accurate.
So yeah, well, what is he doing right now? Mothy.
Bothy's fucking terrified. I don't know what you're...
What I'm wanting? Oh, what I'm wanting is for him to spill, baby. And I've only heard... He
doesn't know what to spill. He just spilled and doesn't know what else.
Where have you been told to look for him?
Here? I don't know
here?
Anywhere else. Roll a intimidation check and then an insight immediately afterwards.
A slut-timidation. A slay-timidation. I have like 15. Okay. 15.
15? With a 15, he is thoroughly intimidated. And then roll me an insight, please.
What? Oh, it's actually not that bad. It's 18.
Okay.
I was about to be like, no!
Okay,
don't do it.
With that, you kind of step on Mothy's ankle, right? And kind of lean down and kind of grab onto his face. And what would you like to ask him?
Where?
Just somewhere here. I don't know. As you're like twisting both sides of his body in the other direction. He's just kind of talking into the void off to the side as you kind of force his eyes off of you in a way. As he's just kind of laying there, kind of limp, like holding onto your hand, which is like twice the size of his head. Like, you're a big dude, and he's not a big dude.
Okay. And I let go.
Okay.
But I'm still in the doorway here. I can tell that you've given me enough information for me to go on. However, if I see you again making mischief, this little meeting won't be as fun. For me, that is.
As Mothy's like getting up, he kind of like looks at you. And just like holds onto the face, like the part of the face that you were just like grasping onto. As he like slowly gets up.
I'm gonna toss him a coin.
There aren't really any coins here.
There's no coins in this society.
Not in the Feywild, no.
Yet there's a working class who is not given as many wings as their big tongue-backed queen. Very not cool. I hate this place. Okay, anyway, I'm leaving.
Okay.
I'll blow him a kiss instead. I don't know. Fuck it.
There's just this big gauntleted hand on the like faceplate as it goes out. Mothy just kind of looks at you.
Toodles. Anyway, that was a joke.
It was a joke.
It's canon now.
So.
It's canon now.
It's canon.
You're canon.
I'm not a canon. I'm Brian.
Bad joke. 10 points.
That was like half real, half fake.
That was a half joke. That was a good half joke.
Half
but
joke.
Still,
half joke,
10
half
points
joke.
Gone from your scoreboard.
Damn it.
So does he get inspiration for that, or?
Yeah, he does though.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get 5 points
you should turn that
inspiration.
down.
You can use those +5 on anything.
+5 inspiration. You can use it everywhere.
Everywhere. Which I should also mention, we use some weird rules. So if you're interested, I don't know, maybe I could do a live stream and explain them all. You'll get
Look
it.
around, man. There are no rules. We're lost.
I'm sorry.
An additional 10 points gone.
Damn it.
You're losing them quick. These are not
I
hit
know,
points. These are just
dude.
imaginary points, by the way.
Yeah,
and
Harrison
with that,
uses them during our business meetings, and he'll take money from us.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's like, all right, you
That's
said
definitely
4
true.
bad jokes here. That's a total of 40 points. You owe me $80. That's
Yep.
that's
Yep, that's
I
exactly
think we're
how all of
currently
our
like
transactions. And you want to know what that money
$17,000 in
goes
debt.
into?
my lunch
My
money.
crippling dice addiction.
Oh.
Immediately, new set of nice full gold plated ones. Wonderful. Anyway, that's a joke. It's a joke. I should clarify. That's a joke.
It's not.
Um,
Help.
Guys.
Please help us.
Student debt plus Harrison debt is crippling me. I'm gonna have to
Yep.
start an OnlyFans or something.
I'm sure people would watch that.
No.
No.
Don't say that.
Anyway.
That's nasty.
We move over as Urvgach kind of steps out of this burrow. We move over to Doldis. So,
Get shit done, son.
as you are walking, Sob kind of appears kind of next to you. Well, I have some news. What
Welcome
would you
back,
like to hear
Sob.
first? The good, the bad, or the interesting?
Ooh. Please tell me interesting. I'm so tired of the same colors here and everywhere. Please, bring me something new in my life.
Something interesting then. Well, those tunnels you see above you,
Mm-hmm.
they lead to a lot more nests than our good friend Sibilance likes to say. It seems like the soldiers here number in the thousands rather than the hundreds. So that's a fun little piece
That's
of
a fuck
information
ton.
for you. So I would
Thousands.
say be careful who you piss off here. Yes?
Fuck. All right then.
Also, our good friend Captain that escorted you here,
Mm-hmm.
he's not the only one.
Multiple captains. All right.
Yes.
Any sign of their leader, the captain's leader?
And that brings us to the bad news. There seems to be a even stronger children that we have never seen before. I'm going to like to call it a general, because that's the only thing I can think it is. It is a very, very large, very, very mean-looking, four-armed Isildren with full body carapace, and it seems like magical armor on top of that, and, well, it saw me when I was invisible. It shouldn't be able to do that, and so I immediately left. I don't think it followed me past that point, but it seemed to react to my presence. I don't know exactly what it is, but it definitely seems very strong.
That's great. That's really
Yes.
No good.
Speaking of good news, however, I do have some pieces of good news. I found a way to the deeper layers, and it should be easy enough to get us there.
perfect. I'll try and find Urvgach. While you do that, listen around, see what we can find.
Very well. I'll keep eyes and ears open, like usual.
And then, with aberrant mind, I'd like to speak with Urvgach and just say, right then, what have you found?
I found that bitch satyr that
Accurate, yeah.
led us astray.
Oh,
I
Muffy.
reacquainted ourselves because we've both grown as people. In different ways, of course.
Of course.
And we got some information. Baeh Veshen is here. But he's being looked for by other people. And he, of course, a little fucker didn't give me any information about the other people. Probably because, and I'll admit, I did press his head into a wall and then throw him and then step on his ankle and twist his body in a way that shouldn't
God,
be twisted.
you are so quick to violence. I love it.
Thank you. Reading and writing and all of those.
Did the journals help? The ones that were gifted to us?
I just said I couldn't write.
Oh.
Nor could I read.
That's right. I forgot. You're lacking in that area. I forgot.
Yes, but I make up for it,
Of course. You're
In
so
explosive violence.
very big and strong. Were the lessons not? I thought you were taking lessons though on at least reading.
I think I might have killed the teacher.
What do you mean you think?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I feel, we have a disconnect. You have a lot of value for other people's lives. And I think that's kind of silly. People die every single day.
What a great line. Oh, wow.
You
put a lot of value
for
into other people's lives. I think
and that's kind of silly.
Oh,
That's a patch.
I expected nothing else from her.
That's a patch,
Oh,
that's a
man.
button, that's a pin.
Yep. Stickers.
Stickers.
We'll make
Everywhere.
it
Put a
happen.
sticker on your water flask. Sorry if that was a little loud. I got excited.
Bring it on your water flask.
Put it on your water flask and bring it to school. Show all of your friends in your geology class and no other class.
No other class.
No,
Right
no
there.
other class.
Apart from that, Sob came back to me with some interesting news.
What?
The holes that the little bug people use, or not little, but you know what I mean. Many of them. Many holes. Many more than just 100. It seems we've been lied to again. It is not 100, it's thousands. Multiple thousands. Also, multiple captains. Along with that, one big captain. Very large, very mean, very strong, fully armored in both physical and magical, so yippee. And he saw Sob. They can see the petals. That's wonderful. But there is a path that Sob has found that leads deeper into the city. If we could meet up somewhere near the center of this whole cacophony of noise, we should be fine. And I think I'll pay a little mind visit to Mafi as well.
Okay.
You might have a tough time doing that. He probably has a concussion.
I'll work around it.
And with that, we're going to take a short break.
Short break!
Short
Wow.
break! So we'll see you back here in about
No time at all.
5 minutes. welcome back from our little break. Hope you were able to enjoy it, and we're gonna get back into the game now. So, where we last left off, the two of you were had just finished communing, yes, and we're going to meet up, and I believe Bodeus, you were going to
call on Mafi. That's right.
Yeah.
So using Aberrant Mind, I'm just kind of like click into his head and just go, "Hey, Baba boy, miss me?" Because he's a goat and he's albino, so it's like.
I was about to say, is that like Baba Black Sheep?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it would be Baba White Satyr.
That's why I said Baba boy.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway, you get a very small, almost like sigh in your mind. Although it doesn't really register, you can kind of tell that that's the feeling as you then hear, "Hello, Das."
How you been? It's been so long since you left us. It's...
Look, I had other matters to attend to. I'm sorry that happened to fall on our
When you're
meeting.
talking to me, how about you look at me when you talk to me?
I can't see you.
What
But
the
I
fuck
can
are you
see
talking
you.
about?
What do you want?
What do you know? I know my little buddy had a talk with you. I just wanted to get all the
little
details.
is the word I would use to describe that monster. Well, as I told him, Bathan is here somewhere, I don't know where, before you ask. I've been sent here to look for clues just as much as you have.
By who?
I don't know.
See, the thing is, I don't believe you're that stupid. So you're gonna have to tell me who sent you.
And I don't believe that you're that ignorant to how mind magics work. Fucking dick. It's the same thing that you're doing to me right now.
I know, and I can take it
Only
a step
instead of
further.
your stupid ass voice, it's something else. Like a feeling. I don't know what it was, but all that I received was a threat saying if I would like to see the next moon, here I had to be. And so, again, here I am. Anything else?
I don't like your tone. I really don't. So.
And I don't think you can actually see me. So what are you going to do about it?
But you never know. I could be in front of you, walking past you. I literally could be anyone. And
then
you never
then
know.
Kill me.
I need you for later. You might come in useful.
You do notice that he's unusually agitated, even after, even beyond just being physically assaulted. This is weird. He's not a very confrontational person.
Oh. Did our time away make you more agitated?
No.
Are you standing up for yourself? Oh, that's adorable, really.
Well, I'm not the one asking a Baba boy how to do his job, now am I? So, if you want to continue with your job, how about you do that instead of bothering me?
I could do both, but you know what? You seem sad and agitated, and I'm sure your head hurts or your ankle or whatever he said, I don't know. I hope you heal fast. Goodbye.
And I hope you also heal fast as you feel the connection kind of rip apart and untangle.
And now we look for the path deep down.
Yeah. As you two kind of meet up with each other, I didn't even hear what that joke was.
That was bad. I think it was like... It was a stupid-ass joke.
Fair. Urbgotch, you hear a voice off your shoulder as you hear kind of this unfurling sound next to you. The voice belongs to Elise. Lord, there is something to your left. Don't look.
I looked the wrong way the
Actually,
first time.
she wouldn't say don't look. She would be like, she would know full well you were going to look either way. Up, furthest region, cliff face. You see it, don't you?
What?
You see a humanoid creature, female presenting, it seems, standing kind of on this ledge, with this kind of big, kind of greatsword sitting on her shoulder. You can see her whole body is completely white. As you can see, there is kind of this face paint that goes from the top half of the mouth up past the eyes. You can see the white hair is kind of almost dyed at its roots, so that it looks as though it goes from the black to the white as it's pulled back into this kind of long ponytail that just sits slightly off of her shoulder. You can see her eyes, the whites of her eyes are completely black, and you can see the iris is this golden yellow. And you can also see that she has this very, very faint kind of wreath of golden leaves that sits around her head, seeming to be the only kind of elements of color on her entire person. You can see she is in combat gear of some kind, some sort of armor. At this distance, you can't quite see what it is, but it is there. And as she is kind of standing there, you see she is looking very, very intently at you. And as you look up at her, she kind of stands up, kind of turns her head and looks at you, puts the sword, kind of swings it down, puts it in front of her, still looking at you, and drops it right onto the edge of this kind of ledge that she's standing on. As it kind of cracks into the earth in front of her, she and her sword kind of disappears in this swirl of seemingly green leaves that kind of fall and then blow off of this ledge, kind of down into the space. One of the only elements of color you've seen in a very long time. You can see her armor as well was a pristine gold.
Do I know that as being like a spring?
Roll a history check for me.
History. 17.
You would know that armor because you've seen armor like that before. That is armor very similar to the page, or a page, of Summer.
Oh.
So. Ow now.
Oh no.
And it tracks with the green leaves. That would be a page of Summer.
Well, I guess I'll keep on heading over, because I'll let Brian know when I am able. I can't call him or them.
So eventually the two of you reconvene, kind of seeing each other, and this is like almost immediately after you saw this figure, Urvgotch. The two of you kind of rejoin and begin to make your way towards.
I saw a page of Summer.
Dude,
what are you eating?
Someone gave it to me.
That was out of
It's
character.
a little candy.
It's candy.
You just took candy from a stranger?
Yeah. They're winter berries. It's fine.
The last time you had something from a stranger, you vomited blood.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen this time, alright?
On
This
me.
one tasted really good.
You said that the last time
I was kind of fine. That one was a bit bitter.
Spewing. Listen.
Gotcha.
Explodes.
Listen.
All right, you saw
Tricksters and mischief makers. I think Mothi may have said this. If you do that again, I will kill you.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, you said something about some new page.
Yes, the summer one. Just there's not really roads here. What I mean, I saw it that way, but they did a little trick and disappeared. It enraged me. It filled me with malice. You know.
What
So I'm going to, when we see them next, and if you do see this person, alert me immediately, and I will come and murder them as swiftly as I can.
Will do. What do they look like? You just said a page of summers.
Kind of like a fucking coward, really. Like this gold wreath on their head and
summer.
This tattooed face. It was really pitiful. Face. It was something that you would wear if you were jumping around in a fight and trying to get away from real direct combat. Like me, for example, a real warrior. But they, on the other hand, oh God.
No, continue. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so they had a gold wreath and face tattoos. Great. All right.
And they had golden armor. What more? I've told you that they're a summer page. Don't you know what they look like?
Yes, of
course.
That
is our enemy. I've spent so much time studying our enemies for both of us because you only study the little magics and it's despicable. It's despicable that you do that.
Right, and you would think that you would learn how to see more detail. All right, I get it. Summer page armor and tattooed face. Wonderful. I'll keep a lookout for that. Now then, Sob says she found the path. So we're going to follow this path, and you're going to follow me.
Good.
And maybe you could fill me in with some more details.
That's it. That is all.
You guys
that
have
I
been
saw.
walking, I should mention, the whole time, and you're like halfway there ish. It's been a while.
Okay, so what was this page doing?
Standing, attempting to be menacing, but they only looked idiotic, like I've said. Pitiful, cowardice.
Yep, cowardice, pitiful, sad, anger-inducing. Yeah.
You've been saying that
enraging,
for 5 minutes.
Not anger. Enraging.
Enraging. That's right.
For someone that knows how to read, you don't pick up on a lot of intensity in language.
Yes.
At this point,
you're right.
You hear.
Thank you.
Sob kind of appears behind you. Lord, I should be able to open this door. However, I should mention, Rivgach is not entirely wrong, but I may be able to provide a little bit more pertinent information.
Please do.
It seems like that page is not the only page of summer here. I briefly saw another before it too disappeared.
How did it disappear?
They seem to already be past this next gate.
Right. Okay. Where was it before it disappeared, and how did it disappear?
Past the next gate. The gate opened, and it was past it as the gate closed.
I've got some news.
What?
There's more than one of these enraging beings. Sob saw momentarily.
All right, let's fucking go.
All right,
I'm just gonna go.
Right, okay.
Run.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Okay.
Rivgach just starts.
I hurt my wrist for
sprinting.
this. By the way, I slammed, and I got a pretty sizable desk here. All right, folks. So I
Broke it in half.
I hurt my wrist, so you better subscribe. You better hit the notification bell.
The bill.
Hit the
Give
bell
that bill
and the
a little
bell.
touch, you know.
Get that bill
Pet it, maybe, I don't know.
a little slapperino. It's something to bring home to your friends.
Mm-hmm.
I hurt myself though, so you better appreciate it, please.
To which Urmgotch just starts sprinting in just a random direction as the two of you are following Elise.
No, actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sprint into this new area. Stop in like what looks like kind of a busy little square or whatever. That I'm guessing that's right next to the entrance. And just look around and say, "Where are you? Where?"
I'm going to run up next.
I don't think they're here. You lied to me.
And I should mention it was not Elise. Sorry. You.
No, I was talking to him.
Are following the trail that Sop gave you. My bad. I just want to clarify that before we go past that point. And what are you doing?
With aberrant mind, I'm just going to very quickly. I told you it disappeared, but you didn't listen to me by then. And just run up, and then in person, just sorry, everyone. He has these fits. He was dropped when he was younger. It's a terrible thing. It's affected him his whole life. I
was dropped straight out of my mother's womb for battle. I'm looking for a page of summer.
Of course.
Just have you seen?
Just play along.
Have you seen the page of summer that I speak of?
The Sildren just like stares at you, just like blank faced, and just
play along. Just play along. I'm so sorry.
This is an example of what they may look like when they see me.
Okay, I've got you.
Okay, fearful.
Tone it down.
Fearful. This one here. Look at him.
Yep. Okay, we gotta go. In fact, I think
Stop.
I think I saw it. It's actually this way.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Yay! Find him.
I wasn't expecting that one. Okay, yeah. You guys
we're not fucking around.
I know. No one's ever accused you of not fucking around. I promise.
That summer page he whispered to me.
I don't.
Said, come
Brian,
get some.
Me out of character. I don't care what they said about me. So it's okay. It's just a game.
It's just a game.
All right.
So the two of you continue on until you get to kind of this, kind of one of the edges of this massive kind of space, as there is this massive kind of fissure that is like broken through this space. Almost as if something very, very, like, kind of, almost as if a massive chisel broke off a piece of this space. And as the two of you kind of go down, you see this kind of lighter textured ice that is kind of forming this doorway with this kind of massive central sigil written in Sylvan. With the doors also covered in just Sylvan script. To which, Dildeus, you hear Sab just kind of says to you, "I'll get the door," as she kind of floats over and kind of reaches out her hands and begins to kind of twist and manipulate this kind of magical door for a few moments. As the door kind of begins to break open, it seems to almost melt as it opens, leading the two of you forward into this just kind of massive space that you can't see the full dimensions of, but you can see it goes out into a much, much larger space down. So, as the two of you step through, you find yourselves looking over this cliff face that has this kind of stairway, spiraling, or not spiraling, but winding staircase that goes down into what looks like an even more ornate kind of central spire-like new city. The outsides, again, has these multiple burrows and tunnels in the roof, but this section seems to have this kind of central space that seems to be very much like a central living or communal space. You can see the walls, however, of this space are being intricately carved by all of these worker Isildren. So, with that, the two of you kind of look over and down. You see half of this space is rock that seems to kind of jut out and has been carved away, and the rest is glacial ice that kind of covers the top and down, and kind of this sunset view out into the city, with the floor being mostly just stone. So, with that, the two of you begin to kind of make your way down these very long, winding steps with various Isildren kind of all around. However, this second layer, you notice that there are different kinds of fey creatures, each being seemingly bundled or kind of wearing some sort of additional kind of cool weather clothing, but it's more so various vestments that are kind of designed for a little bit more warmth in this cold space. The two of you are well accustomed to the frigid cold of the frozen wastes.
What's the temp around here? Fahrenheit.
But far below freezing.
Damn.
Not to the degree that it's like life-threatening in a way, but there is no element of melting in this space. All of the ice and snow is in a perpetual frozen state. So.
Yucky.
Yeah, it's very cold. But again, the two of you don't really notice.
It's cold out.
It is cold out. So, with that, what would the two of you like to do?
Well, we're
I'd
here.
just like to look around, and just see what we could find, and just repeat, walk around, look around, see what we can find.
So, can I have both of you make investigation checks?
Once again, I shall get a... Oh, I got a 13. Oh, well, technically not. I got a 17, but still.
And what do we roll?
Investigation.
Investigation. Got it. Ooh.
Investigate this dick.
Whoa! Oh, what is that? Oh, that's a 13.
I can say, literally, I could probably say right now whatever I wanted. I don't have any repercussions in my life.
I don't know about that. What did you get, Brian?
I got 13 plus 1, 14.
14, okay.
14?
The two of you notice mostly the same things. I'll get into what you see beyond that, Urvgutch. But the two of you see, again, this space is full of much more diverse fey creatures, including a few seeming to be odd kind of wooden fey creatures that you have not seen very often.
Stickbug.
Those creatures, though, seem to be kind of avoiding most of the spaces here. Neither of you recall what they are called, but you are aware that they are very rare to this region. Beyond that, you also see a ladron figure kind of standing up on this kind of mound where these burrows are kind of dug into. Intricately designed and almost perfectly square, with the exception of a very, very minor rounding of the edge, as he just kind of stands looking over the space. You can see his face is kind of covered in a myriad of different kinds of scars, not necessarily as densely, like, one-sided and, like, disfiguring as Mathi's scars, however, very prevalent, with one scar going very firmly over his eye, with that eye seeming to still be functioning, but has a very, very deep scar that goes almost perfectly over it, and past and kind of down, taking a little bit of his chin with it. You can also see, on the left side of his face, you can see this kind of almost perfect cut over his ear that cuts the top half of his kind of long fey ear completely off. So one ear is normal length, the other is cut and then just kind of slowly healed over, but it's much, much shorter. As you can see, his face is kind of covered in various scars, again, with the most prevalent being on his face. And then his hair is this kind of long, streaming, almost bluish white in a way, that is kind of pulled back and just sits just a little bit past his upper back. You can see he is in kind of full, kind of silvery looking armor that seems to be scale mail of some kind with elements of plates being added to it, and you know that this is not a true metal in a way, but more of a natural crystal that is very metallic, but is kind of grown and forged by kind of various different fey groups, and specifically with your order under the Night of Winter. It is a very common armor type. It is as strong as steel, but has this kind of reflective shimmer as light goes across it, almost like ice. You see he has these two swords that are kind of sitting at his belt, which kind of goes into this kind of half combat dress, more of a kind of an open, almost
like a tunic.
Yeah, a little bit. Not terribly long, and he just kind of has boots on. And you can see his kind of very blue and white eyes just kind of looking around, seeming to be very intently watching one specific creature. Gotcha. That you guys can kind of not quite see just because of the structures around you. But you both know this figure to be the Page of Winter, Torna.
As we're walking down and around, again with aberrant mind, I'll just talk to him and just say, "Hey, Torna, miss us?"
You see his face kind of lightens up a little bit from the not quite scowl, but definitely very serious look on his face. Well, I did not expect you to be here. Us, I assume, is meaning you and Irvgotch, or is this just a Das and Sab adventure?
Oh, it's Irvgotch and I again.
How is the big grump at least a little more amicable today, or is he his usual intense self?
He is currently enraged, which I would love to tell you all about.
What takes you here to Countersible?
We're looking for
Countersilb, sorry. My bad, I keep saying that wrong. It's Countersilb.
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 We're looking for Bauthen.
Oh, so we've been tasked with the unfindable man, then.
Indeed
Good
we
luck.
have.
Well,
and you?
I would love to say that my task is as entertaining as that, but I would be lying to you if I said that. As you see, he's now kind of like looking around, not entirely like trying to find you, but just seeing if he can get a glimpse without taking his eyes off of whoever he's looking at.
And is that why you're following that little figure up and around, darting between?
Well, to say yes in a way. It's more of I've got to follow a fellow even further beyond. But he's an easy watch. It's more if he becomes a problem, I'm set to exterminate, as our good master would like to say, but it seems that this specific informant is doing his job well enough.
I can see you looking for us. Just turn around.
Kind of turns as the two of you kind of take a step, kind of beneath and up towards him, as he speaks kind of out loud. Well, it's good to see the two of you. Nervgotch. Das. How's it
This is still Torna?
Yeah.
Oh, I was confused.
Yeah, the two of you
Where
kind of
is the
walking.
summer page?
Okay.
Have you
There's
seen
a
the summer page?
We are not the only pages here. It appears there are two
There
summer
are at
pages.
least two
At least
who have yet
two.
to meet my blade, and I am
Tell
not
him,
content with
Evgotch.
that.
Tell him, Evgotch, what do they look like? Tell them, please.
Oh. I believe I said before, like a coward. Maybe I used a different term. But they had a gold wreath and this gold armor, ones that summer folk wear, and tattooed faces, and a ponytail, as they say, I believe.
Ooh, that's new.
Listen, would you like me to explain, or would you like to put in your little
Of course. Sorry.
witty
Please
comments?
Go on.
And the ponytail, as I was saying, is black but white at the end. I would never do this, but that is what they look like. And I want to know if you've seen them, because it is a disgrace, to say the least, that they're not dead.
Well, I am not going to disagree with that statement, but no, I have not seen them.
Good. I'm leaving. I will meet you once again, Torna, my good colleague, but goodbye.
Sorry about that. It seems I must follow. Keep an eye out for them.
Little task. But
Keep an eye out for them. Apparently they're shifty.
yes, although one could say that about us, I wouldn't. But it's available. I don't die.
I would never.
I don't like the way that you said that. But
I
I'll
could
take
change
your
that.
word for it for now. Good luck.
I'll see you again.
And you. As he kind of goes back to sitting, or kind of standing, kind of watching this figure in the distance.
By the way, guys, viewers, put in the comments, 1, they are having sex. 0, they are not. I'm, for one, saying 1. You know what I mean?
Real, you don't know.
Oh.
Whoever wins, shout out to you.
Yep.
Whoever
the one
wins that little
person
bet,
who
shout out to
wins this 2-answer question, you win. Good job.
You win.
You win. So, continuing on, the two of you, kind of continually, as you move past, Torna, the two of you kind of begin to see more variants of Fey creatures the deeper you get into this kind of Spire City. From Satyr to even as rare as it is, a dryad of some kind that seems to be frozen with what seems to be this kind of very small creature in its hands as it kind of rushes past you. The two of you, please make a investigation check to see if you can find any evidence as to either where the summer pages are or where your target may lie.
I got 11.
19.
19. Urvgotch, you do not see any summer pages, nor any evidence of summer pages. Dodeus, you, on the other hand, as you're walking, hear kind of muffled sounds off in the distance. Very, very faint. But enough to be something, perhaps.
With aberrant mind, I'll tell Urvgotch there's some muffling. Muffled movements sound something. Be quiet. I'll try and hear what they're saying.
Where? I can't hear through my helmet.
It's to the left. And they are to the right of me? Out of character, are they to the right of me?
Yes.
Okay. They're to the left.
So you were going to listen in?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear kind of quiet sounds as you kind of slowly approach. You hear voices, two distinct voices. And as you kind of get closer, they begin to kind of gain a little bit of definition. As you're kind of just past kind of one of these diversions from where kind of these center structures are, and then where these kind of large overgrowths where these burrows are kind of dug into, you hear Mothy's voice talking. Look,
It's Mothy.
whatever it is, they are here. I don't know what.
He's telling someone about us.
Apparently, there are more. I don't have any information for you right now, but I am still looking, okay? So please just give me a little more time.
He's asking for more time.
As you hear a male voice, very kind of deep, and it booms slightly more, kind of breaks over Mothy's voice.
He's talking to a
You
man.
and I both know you have run out of time.
He's telling Mothy he's run out of time.
And let's not forget the deal that you made to get that little piece.
Talking about a
please.
piece. Some piece, little piece.
Do
Are you talking to me
better.
right now?
Yeah, like, as they're, like,
Oh.
hearing it, I'm talking to you with my mind.
Oh, shit.
So please,
This is like some
do
three-way
a
bullshit.
little bit better job. I don't have to remind you what's at stake, do I? You have very little time. I would
Mothy's running
recommend
out of
you don't
time.
waste it. To which you hear kind of the sounds of, it's odd, buzzing in a sense, but more in the sense that it is in your head, almost like reverberation, and then it stops. And you do not hear any more voices.
I've got you to the left. In this alleyway. Come down. Now.
Okay, I'm running over.
Okay.
Pum, pum.
Are you turning the corner, Dodeus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I-
As you turn the corner and you hear Urvgotch trudging in your direction, you see Mothy turns to you as he has this extremely complex device in his hands that he twists, that has been kind of twisted out. You see he looks at you, and kind of in an instant he presses down on it as it shrinks into something roughly palm-sized. As you see, he throws it into his kind of like kind of side pouch that he has, and just turns, looks at you, and casts something, and then just leaps and disappears.
Oh, wait. Before, can I try to jump at him?
You have not passed this space. You were further in. He turns. Mothy hears you sprinting. Turns, sees Dildeus, jumps right as you turn the corner. You see he's mid-air and just kind of disappears in kind of a flash of light.
I want to go deeper in to see if there was that other person.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. As you kind of go deeper in, you see there's no one else here. You do, however, see very, very large boot prints next to Mothy's, and in this kind of
a clue.
Light snow, you see Mothy's prints are kind of like tracing in almost this like broken figure eight. This other figure's much larger boot falls are singular, and there is no lead up or lead away in any capacity. They seem to have just appeared and then disappeared.
I'll like run back out of the alleyway and see if I can meet up with Ervgotch just as fast as I can.
Okay. The two of you kind of reconverge back at like this kind of corner of what is similar to an alleyway. It's more so just various odd kind of diversions from this main spire that go out. It's more of a tunnel than anything. A very
Where did they
tall
go?
tunnel.
They're fucking gone. Malfi told someone about us, telling him that there is more than one searcher. Some fucking man. There's no footprints. They're just gone. We have to look around now.
I hate magic. You! Do you perform magic?
Again, in a Sildren this time, one of the only Sildren you've seen just like... And then just like runs off.
Leave!
I'm just gonna ignore it this time. I'm just gonna like run into the crowd and see what I could find.
Okay. You kind of sprint into the crowd and
I'm
you
just gonna sit down.
see...
You're gonna sit down?
Yeah, I'm sick of this shit.
So, Dolderis, you see Mothy, like, looking around and kind of looking at this thing in his hands as your eyes meet, and he kind of looks at you, kind of glares, shrinks this thing back down, and puts it again in his kind of pouch that is kind of sitting strung across his side. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to duck down behind the crowd and transform into a satyr as well. My satyr has jet black thick fur on his legs. He's wearing kind of like a traveler's tunic, like a traveler's jacket, I assume. He has this brown satchel leading across, along with like an adventurer's backpack with like the blanket on the bottom. Hip to him, he has a very dark chin strap sideburn thing going on, but he also has like a little mustache growing in. It's not patchy, it just looked like he hasn't shaved either this morning or in a couple days. It's like hard to tell, but it's there. And he has...
You anamorphed into a Gorpcore
Enjoyer.
satyr. Yeah.
Yeah. And he has...
Confirmed, Brian's a Gorpcore enjoyer.
Gorpcore. And his hair is swept back with like the sides shaved off as it like loosely unfurls around the back end. And he's going to like I said, duck down behind the crowd, transform, and then walk
make a
out.
Stealth check for me just to see how seamless that duck down into another figure is.
Throw a fit check in there too.
What would a fit check be?
I think we should make that. We should make one. It's like swag.
So that's a 27 on stealth. Stealth?
Okay.
Stealth.
Stealth.
27 on stealth.
27
And
on
then
stealth.
what was the fit check? You said performance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fit chick. Oh my god, fit chick is a 28.
Oh, you're dripped out.
I'm
Oh
dripped
my-
out.
Oh yeah.
I love
Oh.
expertise.
Advantage
I'm
on
so
everything.
happy I decided to make that switch. I love expertise.
So you kind of duck down behind this very, very very tall ant-like creature, and kind of like sprint and then like kind of slide and turn, and you kind of appear in a different spot entirely. And as you kind of stand up and like you play it off very, very cool, like unless a creature saw you transform, no one here would know that you were someone else. You see Mathi kind of looks around and then just sprints away.
I'm trying to loosely follow behind him.
Okay. You are kind of running through these kind of spiraling streets, roughly keeping pace with Mathi. With that, with how fast Mathi is going, you will have to sprint after him, which will kind of entail him knowing that you're following him.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like to do that, you may, but he will know that you're following him. Or you can try and hold back, and you're going to have to make investigation checks to track him.
Can he do Misty Step through his little character?
Through...
The pedal?
Not necessarily.
I could fly.
This game sucks. I hate this. Ah!
Pedals can do a lot, but as of like a linking kind of thing, not necessarily.
I'm going to hang
Can
back,
his pedal
and then
kiss
I'm
him?
going to talk to Sob and just say, follow him.
Okay. To which you see the small pedal kind of nods, and then gone. At that point, the two of you, I should say,
I'll be
Earth
right
Gotch.
back.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
we're gonna take a break here, folks, for a few good seconds.
few good seconds. Welcome back. Quick
Hello.
little cut break. Hi, welcome back.
Brian's taking a little bit.
We just had a little bit of minor things that we had to just cut up real quick. Brian will be back in just one moment. But Irvgotch, you, as you're kind of
Whoa.
standing around, make a perception check for me.
Can I use my passive?
Sure.
17.
With your passive perception, you see something odd on this kind of wall where this other entity was standing. You see just
Oh.
kind of this faint, almost cracking and like different texture to the wall. Rather than a very clean, smooth stone, it almost looks as though it was like turned into almost sandpaper with just minor gradations and differences in the kind of side, and it's just in this kind of round bubble, and then in the center there are just minor cracks that kind of go out. If you'd like to, you may investigate further.
Yes, please.
Okay, roll an
Nailed it.
investigation check for me.
Uno. Dos. Bueno. Oh, 12.
12? Okay.
Not that good.
With a 12, you kind of look at it closer. You have never seen anything like this before.
Damn.
It's a very odd experience in a way. Mostly in the sense that, like, you've never seen even any magic that causes a visual look like this. And as you're kind of
Well-
looking at it, you hear a kind of a small voice behind you, which you know to be Elise. What is that?
I don't know.
Permission to
Yes.
attempt. Wonderful. You see she kind of floats over to it and kind of pulls her hands across themselves, creating this small web of magic, very light blue in color, and begins to kind of trace across this thing with this web of magic, almost linking pieces of the web across it. again, this is very, very faint magic, as she then just kind of brings her hands across, as the whole thing kind of breaks apart, and visually, you two are linked psychically, so you can see her magic and she can see any vestiges of yours, if you had any. You see that she casts just kind of a general detect magic, and this radiates very, very faint magical signatures to it. So it is definitely magic, but it's more in the way that magic leaves residue that makes this interesting. This specific magic is a very, very odd and misplaced kind of visual identity. You have never seen anything like this, and it doesn't fall into any of the normal connotations of the schools of magic. This is something entirely different. And with that, you see Elise kind of looks over at you, and just kind of nods in questioning if she can explain. Do you accept that?
Yeah.
She kind of, as you kind of nod back, you hear Elise begin to explain kind of her hypothesis. Well, it seems as though this is some sort of old magic. I don't know exactly to what degree, but this is different. And different most often means that we have a new player on the board here. I don't know what or where. Once we get back, I can possibly make more research, and perhaps we can ask those who would know a little bit more about the old magics, but this is something entirely unique. Although I don't know exactly to what degree.
Could we harness it to make a weapon of some sort?
It is possible.
Okay, do it.
I don't know
Like,
if
take it, and
this
we'll do it
residue
later
is
or
not strong
something.
enough. But the blood of
We'll take like a little. Can you take a little vial of it, perhaps, and then
add? Yes.
Okay.
May I ask something?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
We're finding Baeh Veshen. I thought that was clear.
Yes, but we have not spilled an ounce of blood since we have been here. Why did your master, and by proxy mine, task us with being here if we are only to talk to people?
You know what? I wasn't going to say it. I was thinking the exact same fucking thing. I've looked at all these people and wanted to kill every single one of them. You, in particular.
Again, just like a satyr this time. It's just like... And then it, like, sprints off. As Elise kind of...
so good to be acquainted with the
on.
people that you're about to kill. It's so much more personal, and...
I feel as though I have not been exactly the most helpful to you, because, as we have expressed before in our relationship, my task is with keeping you alive and making sure that anybody who stands in our way bleeds a broken and bloodied death. And sadly, with this quiet place, I have been unable to do that. So I apologize that I have not been the most helpful.
Well... That's okay. I feel a little even depressed, even.
And to think we were taken off of a battlefield for this.
I'm gonna be honest. And keep this between us.
Always?
I sometimes wish I could just take all these weak little magic users and then force them through slavery, which is a great practice in my opinion. Don't take that out of context.
Don't take that out of context.
This is a D&D game.
Also, his character is kind of evil, so, you know.
He's kind of evil. He's he's got some issues.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I hate slavery.
Thank you, Jeff, for clarifying that. I feel like most people are in the same boat.
Yeah, if I were around 1860 to 1865, north all the way.
Good job.
So
anyway, you were saying character.
I wish I could make myself my own player in this Fey realm, but it's a bit too wishy-washy. I want to go to the material plane and just fucking murder everyone. I was from there. Do you know that? Did I tell you that before?
I believe we've had the conversation. You're not exactly
chatty
about your
and I was a fucking warrior. I wasn't just some fucking diplomat or whatever this stupid shit is. With all these bugs. I had an army of goblins. At least a dozen of them at a time.
To see all the mayhem you would have caused. But, at least with your service here, I was able to meet you. So I suppose there was one good sign.
I wasn't listening to what you just said, but listen. One day, I will, literally, a pile of bones will be my throne. And I'm not talking about like in an aesthetic way, or like in a kind of like a metaphor through sculpture. No,
in a very
actual
real sense,
bones. Yes.
I will help you make that happen.
Yeah.
Best character interaction ever.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I had to go eat lunch. I just devoured something. I came back. Are you just sitting down and talking to your pedal about slavery?
Yeah, I was saying. Now listen, again, like I said, me personally, the liberation of all people is my ultimate goal as someone who feels very politically active. But slavery is not a goal of mine, and I would say that it's the opposite of a goal. I would say I would like to eradicate slavery through a democratic process or other means from the earth. I hate slavery. I think it's a very terrible practice, and anybody who experiences slavery, my heart goes out to you, and I feel so very bad that someone so evil and wicked and just weak-willed would put you through that. So... Mm-hmm.
But,
however, on the other hand, my character, he feels a little differently, And, it's the time period, I don't know what year this is, like maybe 2012.
Genghis Khan.
Alright, sure. Yeah, no.
It's like a Genghis Khan type thing going on, Attila the Hun, other people like that. Anyway.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike, dude, he's fucking crazy, that guy.
Mike's nutty.
I read about him one time in my history class. I think I'm related to Mike because he
Mike is all of us.
He got around.
Anyway,
crazy.
So with that, what are the two of you doing at this point?
I am running as this little satyr man towards this other satyr man, but not sprinting. Just walking briskly as Sob chases after him.
Speed walk.
Okay.
And I'm walking down the street, talking to the pedal, pointing out random bystanders, wishing them destruction.
I guess at this point, I have faith in Sob, so I'd like aberrant mind. Oh my lord! I forgot your name. I had food and I forgot it. Urvgotch. Shut up. Urvgotch. I remembered it. Anyway.
You got there.
As I'm running, I'll aberrant mind to Urvgotch. Matthew's running, transformed into the satyr. You know me. Sob is chasing after him. We have to find him.
Okay.
So, Earthgotch, do you begin moving quicker, or are you still strolling?
Yeah, I'm kind of like out of it now. Honestly, like this whole mission has been,
After
like
hearing,
I said, God, these people are.
So
The
killable.
organization of
after
so
hearing the
killable.
uninterested, okay, I'll throw in.
Okay, yeah.
You could murder him and do whatever the fuck you want with him. We just have to find him first.
Oh.
He has something with him.
I
Protect the satchel.
hear anything else.
Okay. Leave the
You
satchel
can
alone.
audibly hear the sounds of like armor chinking loudly.
You could do whatever
Get
you
the
want.
fuck out of the way!
Do whatever you want to the body. Keep the satchel safe. There's something in there. Fucking, I don't know. Tear his limbs off. Do something.
Uh-oh, Mike. Come on.
Oh, his camera's unfocused.
camera.
If you're listening to the audio
So,
right now, it's
see,
turned
the
into,
audience,
like,
this is a really
a
good
low
point.
resolution.
Now, this is what Harrison looks like in real life. He's actually this pixelated. He has a skin condition. To prove it, I have multiple pictures where he is exactly like this, standing. So he doesn't know how to take
There we go.
pictures
Got it.
with his friends
Got it.
properly. So he just kind of
His
stands
eyes
like
hurt
this.
me.
Yeah.
He hurts my eyes.
Yeah. My entire spine actually goes this way. Rather than straight up, just like that.
And see, like, just now, he's saying that, like, oh, he has to, like, focus it. He actually has a special type of steroid lotion that the doctor gave him. And he just, like, slaps it on him. And then all of a sudden, he's like that. He's normal now. We
normal.
include everyone and anyone. So, well, not anyone,
Yeah.
but mostly everyone. So, we'd like you to be kind. We
Yeah,
don't
if you
include...
like do slavery in
we
real
don't
life,
include you. Yeah,
something like that.
slavers, that's a
Oh,
no-go.
I'm so good.
slavery,
Anyway, back to the topic at hand.
Violent. people.
So, the two of you begin sprinting after Mothi, to which, Dodeus, you get a voice message from Saab. And all you kind of hear is, someone else is here. They have Mothi.
What the fuck are you talking about? At this point,
Is that
I'm
what you respond
sprinting.
with?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sprinting, and I say this.
Okay. You do not get a response, but you do see, as you're kind of sprinting and weaving through, in the general direction that you were kind of following Mothi with, you see Saab kind of float out of one of these kind of diversions, as you see she motions inside in that direction.
I would like to do
As
a
she
cool
kind of
acrobatic
floats to your
move.
shoulder.
You said this
Okay.
was like a type of alleyway diversion, or
Kind
or...
of. In a
I
way,
would like
yeah.
to jump up and kick off the wall, so I could be ready, dagger out in hand.
Okay.
Damn.
I like it. Roll acrobatics for me.
Acrobatics. Am I good at that? I don't remember.
Acrobatics.
I'm okay. Actually, no. I'm kind of.
It's okay.
Oh, 19.
What do you have?
Let's go.
I have a plus 2, so that's 21.
Okay.
I want to
yeah,
tell you
that'll
something,
do
and
it.
I don't want you to feel bad for it.
Okay.
I have a better acrobatics than
Yeah, that's cool, man. What's your persuasion?
Anyway, you jump and kind of land on the
10,
wall
actually.
and jump
That's
off
crazy.
and kind of land in this space as you hear voices further down. Seeming to be kind of past this point.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that was the point when I did the jump flip thing. That was when I untransformed, so I'm my true self.
Okay, you're your true self, yeah. And you're just kind of standing there.
Yeah. And then
yeah,
I would like to
ready
like
to go.
stealth crawl or like frog walk over there to see if I could hear anything before they spot me.
Okay. You can hear that it's coming from this kind of right side alley, from the alley that you're in. So you kind of move forward as you hear two voices. Mothi is deeply out of breath, just like heaving. But you do hear his voice and another voice. They found me. You need to make sure the Baeh Veshen is out. He cannot be here anymore. There are too many people. You need to move him soon. To which you hear the other voice, kind of over Mothi's voice. And we will. But there is something you should know. What? What is so important? You should really be more careful What? On who you speak to, as you hear kind of this cracking and breaking of bones in almost an instant, as you hear another voice, this time feminine. You shouldn't trust every form you see, especially not when you haven't seen your allies in some time, as you hear the sound of a blade crushing through bone and flesh.
An aberrant mind to Urfgotch. They're killing Mothi before you can. Get the fuck over here.
As you
What?
He crashes through one of the like side walls. You see like debris explodes off as he's like in that alleyway. As you crash Urfgotch into like this other side wall, as you see Dodeus and just sprint in that direction.
I'm pointing like the airport guy's little thing. I'm just like, that way, that way, that way.
All right,
As Urfgotch just plows through this whole space. Urfgotch, as you kind of stop and draw your sword, you see this same kind of white-bodied, with kind of this dark face paint, with Mothi currently completely, like, to the hilt impaled on their sword, as they kind of look up at you and smile a little bit as they drag the blade out and go into a low stance, which is where we're going to end today's session. Yippee! So, we hope that you enjoyed tonight's game.
Yeah.
And hopefully you are intrigued for next week's game.
And hopefully this recording works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, that's bad.